Are you wondering what it really costs to live in the Wichita, Kansas area? Whether you're relocating for work, family, or just looking for a more affordable lifestyle, I'm going to be breaking down just for you the cost of living. And I'm covering it all from housing to utilities and also everyday expenses. So make sure that you stay tuned. What's up, beautiful people? My name is Regina Hill-Goddard. I'm a real estate agent here in the Wichita, Kansas area. Now listen, I know if you're searching online for top relocation cities, Wichita is probably not popping up at the top of the list. Probably not going to find this city on your Instagram and your TikTok feed with flashy skylines and mountain views, but that's really the beauty of living here. It's just simple, real life, nothing flashy. So listen, if you're looking for a place where your dollar is going to go further, we've got solid schools, and you're not going to have to call your doctor for blood pressure medications because of the traffic, this might be the city that could really grow on you. Now, the cost of living here in the Wichita area is 11% below the national average across the board. So if you're moving here from the far east, like the DC area or New York, or even the far west, like California, you're going to see that your dollar is going to go a lot further here, and you're going to be able to keep some of those coins in your pocket. Now, according to rentcafe.com, transportation costs here are 6% below the national average. Food costs are 5% lower. Utilities 2%, and housing in the Wichita, Kansas area is 34% below the national average. So speaking of housing, let's go ahead and hop right into what's going to be your largest expense when it comes to living in a different area. So what do we have as far as housing here in the area? So Wichita has a little bit of everything. We've got, new construction. If you're looking for something on the lake, we have things in that area. Ranch style homes. If you want something more historic, maybe built in the 1900s with some charm, we've got some neighborhoods with that, with some nice Victorian houses. We also have plenty of duplexes, townhomes, and if you're looking for more of an urban, like city vibe, got a little bit to offer. I think our tallest high-rise building here is 26 stories, but there are some more urban loft-style apartments with the industrial vibe, little modern touch here and there. We have that in the downtown area as well. So there is a little bit of something for everybody. The average sales price of homes that are currently on the market is $250,000, which, like I mentioned, is well below the national average. Now, for $250,000 for brand new, you're going to be looking at a townhome, a half of a duplex. But I mean, prices here are still good, but I think they used to be amazing. So let me tell you, when I first moved here in 2008, I bought a single family house. Let me tell you how big it was. So about 2,400 square feet, maybe 1,300 square feet on the main floor, and then a finished basement with 1,100 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2-car garage, fenced in backyard. And the house at that point was about, that was 2008. The house was 11 years old. So an 11-year-old house, 2,400 square feet, 2-car garage. I bought that house in 2008 for $159,000. So that's how good the prices were here a couple years ago. Now, like I said, they're still good, but prices on everything are certainly going up. That same house today, even now being almost 20 years older, that house is worth about $250,000. Okay, so the appreciation has gone up quite a bit, but that is where things are now compared to what they were many years ago. So let's talk about different price points and options. So if you're looking at something in the 100, below 250, like 100, let's say 150,000. So $150,000 and under, got quite a few options, you guys, around here. If you find something in that price point, most likely you're gonna be looking at 2, maybe 3 bedrooms, most likely 1 bathroom. You might find a house with 2. You may find a single car garage. Most houses will probably not have a garage at that price point. It's probably going to be a fixer-upper. You're looking at 1,000 to maybe 1,500 square feet. And every now and then you could find a hidden gem. There are a lot of people around here doing fix and flips. So just recently I saw a fully renovated house listed for $122,000. Going up to $200,000 to $250,000, you're gonna find a move-in ready home. You're gonna find a nice move-in ready house, probably something a little older, maybe built in the 80s, maybe 70s, 80s, and 90s. You might need to, do a little paint, maybe take down some wallpaper, update the cabinets a little bit, but you're going to be able to find a move-in ready home. You can find a 2-car garage at that price point, maybe a 1-car, but you're definitely going to be able to find something move-in ready. Now around the $300,000 mark, I'd say $350,000, you're going to be able to find some new construction. Now houses in that price range that are newly built are most likely not going to have a basement. They're going to be what's called a slab home, built on a concrete slab. And you're looking at maybe 1,200 to 1,600 square feet. And you can definitely find a 2-car garage in new construction in that price range. Now around the $450,000 to $500,000 mark is where you start entering into the luxury category here in the Wichita, Kansas area. So you're going to be able to find a house that's about 2,500 square feet. A 3-car garage is going to be pretty standard on a house in that $450,000 to $500,000 mark, but that's definitely kind of the lower level of the luxury price range in this area. And going up to the $600,000 to $800,000 range, you are definitely going to be right in that nice luxury pocket. You're looking at 3-car garage, a 3-car garage being pretty standard at this price point. If you're in that $450,000 range, you may or may not have a finished basement at that price point, but up into the $600,000 to $800,000 range, it would be pretty easy to find a finished basement. You're looking at 2,500 square feet and up. You can also find lakefront lots, waterfront living in that price range as well. And $900,000 up into the $1 to $2 million range is going to be that ultra luxury price point here in the area. You're going to find for sure 3-car garage is the minimum. Most of the time 4-car garage and up. You're looking at maybe even some acreage if you want that. I just showed a home recently that was 17 acres, a fully finished house, main floor and basement, beautifully done. There was like a barn on the land, all of that for right around the $1 million mark. And I also have a video coming up from my channel with a $1.4 million house. And this house is almost 5,000 square feet. It's got a top floor, main floor, and a basement golf simulator room, theater room set up, a gym in the house. So when you're getting up there to that 900, 1 million, almost a $2 million price point, you're in a very luxury area. You can find a lot of amenities. So I would say for here, that's like top of the range. There's not a whole lot of areas with houses in the 3 millions, 4 millions, 5,000, 6 millions. You're not gonna find a whole lot of that around here. And around here, you'll find a mix of neighborhoods that have HOAs and also some that don't. Most of your new construction areas are going to have HOAs, and those will run you roughly around $30 to $40 a month. If you're getting into that luxury, ultra luxury price point, you're looking at a couple $100s a month, maybe $200 to $300, maybe even $400. But like I said, if you are not into HOAs and that's not your thing, there are quite a few areas that don't have them. And if you're looking to rent, there are quite a few options for you. You can find single family houses here for rent. We do have a plethora of apartments and also duplexes, or you might call them townhomes as well. So a 2-bedroom apartment is gonna run you around maybe $900 to $1,200 a month. And if you're looking to get into a duplex, and duplexes around here have been popping up like wildfire, you can look at getting in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath duplex with a 2-car garage, and that's gonna run you around $1,500 a month. So I know a lot of people vie for the duplexes because you have a little bit of privacy, not so many neighbors like when you're in an apartment. A lot of them will also have fenced-in yards, so if you have pets, it just makes it a little bit easier as well. So a lot of different options for you if you're looking to rent. I'm so glad that you are here watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed what I've been telling you so far. I just wanted to let you know that I have a relocation guide that just came out. So if you're thinking about relocating to the area, make sure you grab my relocation guide. You can find it pinned in the comments and also in the description. It's a great way to gather some information and just kind of get acclimated with the Wichita, Kansas area in a better way than spending hours on Google trying to find all this information. I have lots of things packed for you in that one space, so go ahead and give it a download. Next, let's get into utilities. Now, utilities, all of these prices are going to, of course, depend on a couple different factors. One being the size of your home, the age of your home, which impacts the insulation you have in your house, the windows you have in your house, and also the efficiency of your appliances. So if you got an old HVAC system versus a new HVAC system, your new one, of course, is going to be a little bit more efficient. And so those are some of the things that are going to impact your costs, as well as, of course, how many people are living in your house. So let's get into some of the specifics. Let's talk about your gas bill. So Kansas Gas Service is our big supplier here in the area. And of course, the cost of your gas is going to fluctuate depending on the seasons. So in the winter, your bill is going to be higher from running that heat, and in the summer, it's going to be a little bit lower. So on average, I would say in the winter, you're looking at somewhere between like $50 to $100. And in the summertime, in the winter, your gas is going to be higher. So you're looking at $150 to $250. And in the summer, you're looking at somewhere between $50 to $100. Next, let's talk about that electricity. So just like your gas bill, your electricity is going to fluctuate depending upon the seasons as well. Our big supplier here in Kansas is called Evergy. And Evergy just had a 9.6% rate increase. A residential home that uses about 900 kilowatt hours. I don't pay attention to that, but if you do pay attention to your kilowatts, this is for you. 900 kilowatt hours is going to be looking at a $9 per month increase. Now, I don't want you to think that our rates go up by $9, $10 every year. This is actually the first what they call rate shock in the electricity space since 1985. Now, Evergy actually has, I think, 4 or 5 different types of plans that you can choose from. So you can hop on their website and kind of explore those options. Now, let's get into pricing. But of course, this is going to be dependent upon your personal circumstances and also on your personal temperature level. Okay, so if you want to set your air conditioner on Antarctica, right, you're going to be paying a little bit more. So in the summer, you're going to be running that AC, so your bill is going to be higher. You're looking at anywhere from $150 to $250 a month. And in the winter, when you're not using as much, we're talking $75 to $150 a month. Now let's get into your water bill. So Wichita is actually in a stage 2 drought, whether or not you knew it. Yes. We are in a stage 2 drought because of the rain shortage. So there are restrictions on the water that you can use for your lawn. Here's the only exception. If you have a well, which if you are in a new construction house, most of the time you will get they'll dig a well for you and you can use that for your sprinkler system. So if you're worried about that, you can check with your real estate agent, check with me to see if your house has a well. If you have a well, you have no restrictions. You can use as much water as you want. If your sprinkler system is on city water, they do have some restrictions in place. I know that you cannot use your sprinklers on Monday, and then depending on the last number in your address, they divide the days like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. And then you can use your sprinkler system between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. only. Now they do review the water tables and stuff frequently, and then they adjust the restrictions as they are looking at the water levels and where we are with the drought. So we do have that water restriction in place. Outside of that, your water bill, I would say on average, is going to be anywhere from around $80 to maybe $120 a month. Internet providers, we have AT&T and Cox Cable are two big providers, but for internet, you're looking around $75 to $90 a month. For phones, we have all of the phone carriers here, probably looking around $60 to $75 a line. Your trash services, those are gonna cost about $25 a month. Waste Management is our big company here that provides trash pickup. There are some others to choose from. I have Waste Management. It's about $25 a month. And then if you want the recycling receptacle, that's an extra $10. So you're looking around $35 a month. Now, if you live in a place that has an HOA, they may have an HOA discount. So that is something that you have to make sure you ask about. Next, let's get into transportation. Now, if you watched my 10 cons of living in Wichita video, you could see that we do not have a big transportation system here in the area, so you will need a car to get around. We do have something called the Q line, and this is a zero emission battery electric vehicles that they have in the downtown area that you can actually ride for free. They'll take you around some of the districts downtown, like the Delano district and Old Town. And also we've got approximately 200 shops in the downtown and the surrounding areas. And the Q line will take you to all those places for free. So that's kind of nice. Outside of the Q line system, the only thing we have is our city bus system. It'll cost you $1.75 for a single ride and $5 for a one-day unlimited pass. And speaking of transportation, gas prices around here currently are roughly around $2.70 for regular unleaded gas. Next, let's get into groceries and food. So, our governor, Laura Kelly, implemented something called sorry, my papers are flying. Axe the food tax is her bill that she passed, and gradually over the last couple years, the state sales tax on grocery items has been slowly diminished. And as of January of 2025, there is 0% state sales tax on grocery food items. So, for example, I was just looking at one of my grocery receipts. I spent around $133 and my sales tax was $3. Now, this is only on grocery food items. So if you're going to the grocery store and you buy paper plates or toothpaste or something, those items will have your normal state sales tax, but food items have no state sales tax. So just a way for her to help Kansans to save a little bit of money. Now, the Kansas sales tax rate is 6.5%. And then you also have a tax depending on what county you live in as well. Okay, so what I want to do is let's look up a couple grocery items, just common things, and we're just gonna go right to the grocery store app. So Dillon's, this is our big chain grocery store here in the Wichita, Kansas area. We also have Whole Foods. Most of the Targets and Walmarts here have the grocery stores inside of them. In addition, we also have Costco and Sam's. We've got Trader Joe's, and then a couple small kind of Whole Foods vibe grocery stores, like one is called Natural Grocers and one is called Green Acres. But Dillon's is for sure our big chain grocery store. So let's just look at a couple items. So a dozen eggs right now, you're looking at $2.89. If you like to do the organic or the cage-free, you're gonna be looking at roughly around $5 to $6. Let's do milk. A gallon of milk, $2.79. And let's see if you wanna buy organic. You're gonna be looking at a gallon of organic milk, about $7.49. Let's see, let's look up bread, a loaf of bread. Let's see, so we have Kroger brand, and Dillon's is a Kroger brand grocery store. So we carry Kroger items, $1.79. If you want Sara Lee, $3. So there's the prices on bread. Let's see. Let's do, if you have a baby, I have a 2-year-old. My son just turned 2, so gotta buy those diapers. All right, let's see here. So the small packs of diapers, you're looking roughly around $10. And if you want to get a box of diapers, you're looking at $25 range. So $10 for the small pack, and then $25 for the bigger ones. Okay, let's see. Let's look at meat, you guys. The meat has been out of control. I don't know about where you live. So look right here, 1 pound of Kroger brand ground beef, $7.49. Do you guys remember when ground beef was like $2.99? Crazy. Even the, sometimes you get it cheaper if it's in a little roll. That's $6.99. Things have gotten expensive for sure. And then let's just look up chicken breast. Okay, so look at this, like a small tray of chicken, like 1 pound of chicken, $9.48. So I don't know how much things cost where you guys are, but I've definitely noticed that the prices on the food items, especially the meat specifically, have gone up quite a bit. Now let's get into food, takeout food, restaurant food. So if you go to a fast food restaurant like McDonald's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, or any of the other 50,000 chicken places we have here. If you live here, you know what I'm talking about with the chicken. You can find chicken on every street. So if you're going to grab some fast food, a value meal is going to cost you anywhere from like $8 to $12 nowadays. Remember when you could go to McDonald's and have $5 and get a meal? Gone are those days, right? So anywhere from $8 to $12 for a value meal on the menu. If you want to go to a sit-down restaurant, something that's casual, nothing too bougie or dressed up. If you're looking for, let's see, just like a steak place, pasta, chicken, that type of stuff, you're going to be looking around, I would say, $20 to $30 a person. That would be like an entree and a drink. So if you want something nicer where you can get dressed up, go for a nice date night, I would say around $40 to $50 a person. So if you have $100 around here, you can go for a nice date night. Now, if you want to do appetizer and your meal and then a dessert and drinks, a little bit higher, maybe $120, $130. But for $100, you could take care of yourself and the date. Now, as far as something more higher end, we don't have a whole lot of restaurants like that around here. We do have some nice spots where you can go, have a good vibe, get dressed up, go out with your girls or your guys, whatever you do. But as far as any sort of restaurant where you're spending like $400 for 2 people, there's not much around here like that at all. So that's kind of what the food is looking like here. Okay, let's talk about taxes, fees, home fees, and all that kind of stuff. So when you're thinking about things that go into your mortgage payment, of course you have your principal, and then next you're gonna have those property taxes. Property taxes here are gonna be around 1.6 to 1.7%. So in a $200,000 house, you're looking at roughly $3,200 a year in property taxes. Now we also have something in this area called specials taxes, and you may or may not have specials taxes on your house depending on the age of your home. If you don't know what specials taxes are, I did a whole video fully explaining specials taxes, so please go take a watch and give that a look. So that's another thing you want to keep in mind, that you may have on top of your regular property tax, you may have a couple $100s in specials taxes. So outside of specials taxes, we don't have any other hidden fees or weird kind of tax lingo and stuff that you need to be up on. So you're just going to look at that at your county for your property taxes, and then if your home has specials. Another thing about living here in the Wichita metro area is that we don't have a lot of toll roads, city permits, expensive parking costs. So you're gonna be able to have a little bit more money in your pocket if you're from an area that has those things. My husband is from New York, and they up there, I mean, you're paying $300 to $400 a month just in tolls, traveling and commuting from your house to work. So if you live here and you work in the metro area, even if you live in one suburb and you work in Wichita, or you live in Wichita and you work in another suburb, you're not gonna have all of those expenses with toll roads and stuff like that. So that's gonna be some of those coins in your pocket. Let's talk a little bit about entertainment. If you want to go catch a movie, you're gonna be looking at spending anywhere from $10 to $15, depending on which theater you decide to go to. For example, the IMAX is a little bit more expensive. They also have 21 and up shows that you can go to. Those are even a little bit more pricey, closer to 20 bucks. And if you have children ages 3 to 11, you're looking at anywhere from $8 to $11 for a movie. If you want to take your family to the zoo, now the Sedgwick County Zoo is the 7th largest zoo in the nation. So we have a really fantastic zoo, and adult admission is going to cost you $24 and it's $18 for your kids. So if you have a family, I would absolutely recommend getting a year pass. $225 gets you an unlimited pass for a year. So if you have a family and you're gonna go to the zoo like more than twice, might as well get that zoo pass. Our zoo here is fantastic. They do have special attractions. So if you wanted to add on those items, those would be an additional charge. If you want to go to the art museum, our art museum actually has general admission that is completely free. And if there are special exhibits, that'll cost you $12. And if you want to go bowling, you are looking at spending about $15 a person for 2 hours of bowling. That wraps up the video. So Wichita's cost of living, like I said, is 11% below the national average. So that's gonna make living here definitely affordable, especially when you're looking at housing. That's our biggest expense. And if you can be in a place where the housing is 34% below the national average, that's gonna leave a lot of money in your pocket and help you to have resources to do a lot of different things. If you're thinking about relocating to Wichita, Kansas area, or you're a local looking to buy or sell, it will be my pleasure to help you find a neighborhood and a home that fits into your budget. My information is on the screen. Don't forget to go grab that relocation guide. It's pinned in the comments and in the description. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, you guys, peace, love, and many, many blessings. Bye.